good evening. It's not been that long since I last streamed, and hopefully you've seen the more or less complete doodle that's now gone up, and I look forward to seeing your doodles as and when they start to come through. So this evening I'm going to take you through the second of our watercolour die cut techniques, and what I've done is I've taken a piece of good strong watercolour card and I've just run it through my die cutting machine with a nice detailed die and used the embossing sandwich. Okay. If you can just let us know that you can hear us okay in the comments, and that who's in, and if you have any questions. Okay. Today I'm going to be using some Arteza watercolours, but any watercolours will do. Okay. And I'm going to start with a nice pale red. I'm going to add quite a bit of water to that. Because to start with, I just want to do a nice wash. Okay. And the good thing about this technique is you don't have to worry about staying in the lines. And if you find your colours just being a bit too dark, just add a bit more water. Now you will get a little bit of cracking, and it's just the nature of the pressure going through the card, and that is absolutely fine. It won't make that much difference to the finished effect. So as we move around the flower, you'll notice that I don't overly worry about keeping it in the lines. And I'm just adding in a little bit of orange, because you want to add a little bit of variation in your shades across your petals. You want to make sure that all your raised areas are completely covered in paint. Otherwise, when you start to put your layer on top in a bit, you could end up with a little bit of a halo.
Just to let people know, I am here as well, manning the comments, so if there's any questions, don't be afraid to ask.
Okay, just gonna make sure my area is still reasonably wet. And just make sure we get all the little bumps and the little crevices as well. I'm going to take a little bit of the neat watercolour and just run it round where we would expect the shadow to fall. And again, you don't have to be too precise with this. One of the benefits of this technique. Alright. So, just going to blend that a little bit out just there. So you want to avoid getting any harsh lines. And we have another rose just here, so we can do this exactly the same. So I'm just going to go in with nice wash to start with. And again, we can just go in with a little touch of the neat red. If need be, just change the angle of your brush just to catch. And I'm just going to add a bit more of that orangey colour, just so it doesn't get too monotone. Okay, next I'm going to go in and dip our leaves. So who have we got watching tonight?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh dear.
I don't know. Nobody said hello yet.
So I'm just mixing a nice light green. It's a bit difficult because of the way the shadow's falling. I'm going to have to move that camera a bit, I think. It's just right in its own light. And you want to make sure that you mix enough to do all the different leaves. Take a bit of yellow into that, I think. We'll see how we go. So I'm going to start near the base of my flower first and move up towards the leaf. And there's another bit of leaf there, so up there. Okay, so you can see we've put in a little bit of our green. Now I'm just going to blend that out with a little bit of water. The idea being that we're mimicking the light falling on the leaf.
Oh, Carol's here.
Hi Carol!
You haven't missed too much, Carol. You're okay.
I'm just going to drop in a bit more green. Can you just let me know if you can all see this okay?
Looks good.
So again, just going to put our darker green into our base, touch a bit of water on our brush and just blend it out. And this technique is really, really forgiving, which is, you know, a good place to start for beginners. For those of you who are interested in doing more watercolour, there's actually a different watercolour technique over on our blog, which is all about dies that build like, in the case of the one that I've shown is actually a cupcake, so definitely got the cake theme going on. Just going to put a little bit more in there, I think.
Carol says yes to me out here and see. Fine.
Cool.
Thank you, Carol.
Just going to touch in there and blend it out with some water. So if there's anything you're not sure about at this point, you can start to just colour it just in case. So next I'm going to mix a nice pale wash of blue, believe it or not. So let's go for. I'm not happy with that colour. Can I go back to that one? I think. Yeah.
Can I paint? No. No. Oh, yeah.
The walls. You can
Yeah,
paint the walls.
I'm good at wall painting, but apart from that, yeah. And even that she says patchy at times.
Makes it sound like I'm so horrible to you.
No, it's
Only about patchy wallpaper and no painting even, not the wallpaper.
no, wallpaper. I didn't do any wallpaper. We painted everything.
That's because you can't wallpaper.
Yeah.
If you start to get a little bit of puddle, that's okay. We can lift it up a little bit.
No, I have many hidden talents, but painting isn't one of them.
Or if it is, it's well and truly hidden.
Yeah. Buried at the bottom of a pile somewhere.
I'm just going to continue to just dab, because you want to get a bit of texture into this bit because you've got such a large area to cover. So a lot of this dye is not that open, but for the areas that I want to make the most of it.
The paper is a watercolour card, and it's just been embossed with a design.
Yeah, it's just with a dye. So, and all will become clear as to why we do it with a dye. So if you're joining us at this point, you probably don't want to craft along. You can always catch back up with it later. But I will try and do it at a speed that you can craft along without too much trouble. And again, don't worry if you're going around outside here, because all that's going to just come away eventually. And finally, just need a little spot colour to go in the centre of our butterflies. So I'm going to go for a nice purple. I'm just going to touch in a little bit colour.
Oh no!
What?
Die cutter died.
Oh no! What brand? Dare I ask? So just using what's left on my brush for this little one. Okay, that's quite a quick process. So
About 15 minutes.
yep, 15 minutes. And you can give it a blast with a heat gun if you want to.
It's not blocked. Yeah.
So you don't have to have any fancy watercolours for doing this technique, so I've just literally just done that with the Arteza 36 set, which I think may be back in stock. Okay, so next I've got a piece that I've cut out of some scrap card, so I'm going to poke out the last few bits of this, and I've also die cut it from some holographic card. The idea being that we're going to build it up so it's a nice 3D there. Okay.
Cut and boss.
Oh. The engine. That was not what I meant. The motor. Oh jeez.
Is that one of the powered ones, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the one that Mum's got. Oh, one of the ones that Mum's got.
Give me a handle.
I don't know. I still think my Grand Caliber's probably the best one. The easiest. I'm still breaking in the platinum. What's breaking me in, I don't know which. Probably more likely the latter.
It's breaking you in, isn't it?
Well, I actually got the embossing sandwich to work today, so I shouldn't really complain too much.
It's better than we did the other day.
Yeah. But then Natty discovered what she did wrong today.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was it?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay. Tell me later.
Yeah, maybe.
When I'm older.
Yeah, when you're older. So, do you have any watercolour questions?
Me?
Or the audience? I mean, if you want to ask a question, of course you can. You usually do.
I think so. Not afraid to.
Not afraid to ask the silly questions, are you, darling?
Not only pressure, would not cut or emboss, so it had to go.
Oh dear. I think Mum's cut and emboss is still going okay. She's probably going, shh, you jinx it. But she also has a snap, and so far, touch wood, we've been quite impressed with it.
Is that one of the dinky ones?
Yeah.
Suppose you wouldn't get that through a dinky one, would you?
What?
What you've done?
Yeah, I'd go through it.
Would it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's not a dinky then.
No, it's not dinky. It's not like oh.
She looked at Gemini but decided to get the scan and cut instead.
Very sound investment.
Yeah. Trying to learn watercolour. Well, there you go.
This is quite a good place to start because it just gets you used to loading your paint onto your brush. But then as you start to get a bit more advanced, you can start to do a bit more. If you would like a watercolour tutorial, as in full on painting one, just let me know and I can always do that for you. I'll quite happily sit here and paint my day in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got more?
So with this one, I'm just going to
Upside down.
Huh?
On camera it's upside down.
What's upside down? Because I'm so used to doing it all the other way, you see. So this layer you can just do it with any scrap card, so it doesn't have to be anything special. And the other thing to bear in mind is your card now has been through so much that it will bend, so you want to apply a good bit of pressure to it to get it to bond.
Is that the lid on that?
What?
Put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a good firm snap on it. Okay. Next, and this is where I hope this all stays intact, because I want to try and use the waste as well. However, given my stream earlier.
It says with the watercolouring, how the problem seems to be putting too much paint on the brush and then the water, so I have lots of puddles on my paint. Sorry, not page, palette.
I was really hoping that was going to come off so that I could use the other bit, but it's just not going to for me today. That's a shame. I was hoping. And then I was going to do a transfer sheet. Oh well. Can't have it all, can you? So I'll take these bits out.
Any recommendations for that?
For what, the puddling?
Yeah, and too much paint on the brush.
Have a little bit of sponge next to your palette and just blot occasionally. And also when you're dipping into your mix, make sure you how can I describe it? It's not scraping, but just gently brush it over the lip of the. So, let's say this is your palette and you've used that colour there. Just gently go like that, just so that you're not dripping your paintbrush. Hopefully that makes sense. If you're using a water brush, make sure you aren't squeezing the sides as well, because that will cause your brushes to flood.
Top tip from Judy.
Hmm?
Top tip from Judy.
Yeah. If you fancy catching up with a good watercolour stream, I joined in with Judith's painting one earlier. So that's paint along. So you can download the outline from the Derwent page, I believe. And then catch up with the stream. So all their streams are available on both the Derwent page and on the Art of Wellness group.
Why don't you just show what you're doing on screen, because you're not.
Oh, sorry. Oh, so I'm just taking the bits out, because when I was doing this earlier, it wanted to leave all the bits behind nice and easily, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll leave them in, and then I will do a transfer sheet, so I can use both. But no, with sitting around all day, it's just welded itself, so, which is a shame, because I would have liked to have used both bits, because you get some funky effects on this one.
I like the card. Is that Trimcraft?
What, the holographic? Yeah, it's Dovecraft's Rainbow Holographic card. And the colours in it are just absolutely gorgeous. They're like how can I describe it? It made me think of like spangles.
Carol says she's tried following videos and from books, but not having too much success, especially with trees.
Oh, trees! I love trees. Love trees. You probably the thing with trees is you just let them grow, which I know sounds like what, but if you try and force a tree, it doesn't look right. But if you flip one, on the other hand, it looks a lot better. I will try and do a tree at some point then, because trying to think what I could do with that.
Maybe do a watercolour and do a painting one.
Might be a couple of colouring ones next week, because I've already said to Leslie that I'm going to do coloured pencil on Tuesday. So for those that are doing Leslie's colour along, you can then just keep right on colouring, just slightly differently when you get to me.
Can't get the structure right and the branches look like nobody owns them.
You just have to remember that they're thicker where they join. So if you think about the roots are the thickest part, and then it goes up to the trunk, which is thinner, then the trunk goes out and thins again and thins again. And you can then start to put in angles, and it makes your branches look a bit more realistic. I'm trying to think if I've got a photo I can put up of a tree. There's some in the colour pencil ones. Trying to think if I've got any painted.
I don't know.
I'm slowly getting stuck up with little bits of holographic card here, but I'm trying to make sure it doesn't stick to the actual base. So I'm getting sparkly.
Oh, not the sparkle.
Get more sparkles.
I'm going to get glitter on my trousers.
I don't know, how did you manage to get glitter on your trousers?
I don't know.
You haven't even been anywhere near anything glittery.
No.
I mean, I would say the glitter card earlier, but there's like no glitter in it. It looks like it, but there's no glitter in it.
How are we doing?
Oh, it's getting there slowly. Slowly. It's all the little tiny bits now. And meanwhile, I'm running out of fingers to stick stuff to. And meanwhile, it doesn't come off very easily. So, basically, when I cut this out, I applied the score tape to the back. So those of you that saw the stream earlier when I was doing the frondy bits for Ian's card. Although Ian's card seemed to become my card earlier, I have to be honest.
No, I thought it worked well earlier. I did a bit, you did a bit.
So what sort of subjects other than watercolour would you like to see next week? Because we're going to be doing this till at least the end of May, so...
It's a good 5 weeks.
good 5 weeks of streams. And if we carry on at this rate, there's 3 streams a day.
Mm.
So I think I'm okay now to say, any ideas? Because I can do beginner streams so they come out of my ear holes, but I'm sure at some point everybody's going to be like, can you do something a little bit more complicated? Come here.
75 streams.
75 streams. You just worked that one out, have you? Facebook's gonna love me. Not to mention YouTube when we do actually get round to copying all these across.
Yeah, upload.
At least the new ones should be a little bit easier than the first ones we put up, because we haven't got to try and edit them as well.
Mm.
Seriously. Stop. What's that?
Carol's saying her fingertips and poor knee knock are very, very sore from the tiling, so you can't complain about a bit of sticky finger. Quite right.
Careful, mister. I shall be painting tomorrow. And I don't mean as a sort that can stream.
Carol says you love a landscape or maybe flowers if you can, please.
Oh, flowers. I love flowers. I love painting flowers.
Do you mean painting or making? Because we can do some making flowers too.
Oh yeah, we can do both.
So we can show you how to make flowers on your scan and cut rather than using the ones that are on the machine. We can show you a way of making your own.
So I'm just going to start to position this into place. Slowly. Slowly catch a monkey, because you want to make sure that this goes right on top of you. Let's get this off my fingers. Nothing worse than trying to cut out with sticky fingers. One of the projects I have got to do before the end of May is going to be our wall art that I want to do for in here. So that might be something that I may just stream if I'm feeling really brave, because they're going to be giant paper flowers. Okay, I'm just going to grab my scissors. Just going to loosely cut round to start with.
And you cut your slice after.
So the more layers of scrap card the better for this one, but I thought rather than you sit here and watch me do layer upon layer upon layer, I'm cutting underneath the actual outline so that we don't get like a halo. So it's all down to the angle of your scissors.
With the Yes Please, Carol, is that to on the scan and cut or the watercolouring? Sorry.
Just because there's a delay between what you type and what we're saying. So here's.
Hello, Chris. Your mummy watching. Say hello to your mummy.
Hi, Mum. Just gonna snip in. Yeah.
Both, please.
Okay.
We can do that, can't we?
Yeah, because I can use the watercolour flowers to do the enhanced image tracing as well. So, just gonna snip into this a little bit.
And Carol says hello to Nat's mum.
What would we do without technology? So I'm just going to give a good firm press, and if I can find it, because it's still a foil card, you want to burnish everything from the back. You don't want to do it from the front, otherwise you will still scratch your card.
Right, yeah. Oh, and you got an oh yes please, I think, to the
To the
enhanced
watercolour.
image tracing.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, so once you're sure that everything is sealed down well, I'm going to need my pencil, and there we go. Now the first one is nice and easy to do because we can go point to point.
Nat's mum says hi to Carol too.
And I'm going to go for roughly halfway. Okay. So we now have a cross, and this is where you hope your scissors are nice and sharp. So they don't do that. Come on, scissors. Behave. Thank you. If they do catch just a little bit, just tidy it up. And just tidy it up on this side too. You want to make sure that you have a nice neat trim. Okay. And I'm just going to use my bone folder just to press down. Make sure that those bits are stuck. So I'm not rubbing, I'm just pressing. If you need to give it another trim. Okay. Okay, so far so good. And let's see, what have I got that will go with that? Because it's turned out slightly different colours last time, so it's not going to be the same pad. Not be that one. Not be that one. collection now. Where are we going to go?
You have to excuse Nat while she's rummaging through her stash.
Yeah, keep talking. That might go.
Yeah, you found one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Oh yes, that looks nice.
So I think that might be alright. So, those of you that follow me on the group for a while will know I'm a bit of a nut for paper boutique pads. So, hence I'm there flicking through for ages because I've got loads.
Far too many.
Far too many. Okay, I think I'm going to go for that one and do something a little bit different.
Yeah, I still hear just Nat's rummaging through her stash trying to find some
Paper that matches.
paper that matches our design.
We haven't gone anywhere.
Just in case you're wondering.
There you go. So this piece is from Misty Mornings, for those of you that are... Okay. Can you hear the cogs going?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see if I can do... I like that one there too. I think I'm gonna have to get two pieces of the same one. This is not letting me. It's all very well. I think I'm running out of my pad. Okay. So I'm going to start off by trimming 2 strips of our paper. Now I want it to be from the middle because I don't want it to have the tinting on the corners. So, slowly drowning the Z paper now. What is it? Waving, not drowning. So I'm just going to do an inch strip. And set that to one side. And another inch strip. I'm trying to keep this in the slightly lighter area because I can see how much that shadow is starting to cast. It's a problem with streaming this time of day. So, let's pop on some double-sided tape. Can you just grab me a card blank here?
A card blank.
Yeah. No, thingy one, square one. Okay, that's enough to do for this one. So we can mimic our squares. I do love setting him a challenge. Okay. And just to give me a bit of wiggle room, I'm just going to dot on a tiny bit of glue. I want to try and keep this as flat as possible because the clue's in the title, it's 3D, so you can see it if you do it too thickly. I'm just going to go in the middle. Lovely fossil. Have you got some more of that holographic card down there? Thank you.
What colour?
The same colour again, the pinky colour. I only need like a strip of it. So while Ian's finding that, I'm going to apply my double-sided. Bear with us if you are leaving a comment at the moment, and we'll come back to you in a minute. Found it yet?
No.
Okay, so the idea being that I'm going to put these pieces across here. And go.
That's okay.
And I just need a little bit of border for our strip. I'm going to apply it to the card first. I'm going to use it as a guide to trim my...
Oh, no comments, we're okay.
What's that?
No comments, we're okay.
If you have got any questions, don't be afraid to ask.
Me, I'm not afraid. I'm petrified.
Okay. Petrified me really, aren't you, dear?
Yeah.
Can you just take this water out of the way for me before there's an accident? Took it down the...
Down the bath?
Yeah, to do it. So I'm just going to trim it so I'm leaving a little bit of the holographic. Okay, there's one done. Sorry if this is just off camera. It's been quite bad today, haven't you?
Sorry?
You zoomed in quite far today.
No.
Something's different because the shadows are across half the desk. Okay, so I'm just going to use my bit of card just to get that out. So far so good. Before I assemble all this, sort that out in a minute.
I empty your bin and you still chuck it on the floor.
Okay, let's just... Yep, that's going to be edge to edge. Oh, heck. That'll be the end of the double-sided. Okay.
Red lighter.
Just follow me.
Zig it instead.
Yeah, zig it instead. Rather than trying to do... Okay, so you want to decide which way up you want to go. Make sure you've got your card up the right way. I'm going to go this way. Now this one, because we've got card on it, I'm going to go with my 6-2. Huh?
Camera seems to be wobbling a lot today.
That's what I said, it's not right. There's something not right.
No.
It's not right. Okay, so just gonna go and get our centre across as close to centre, and then we can trim off the edges when it's all drying a bit. Then I'm gonna go that way. Use some more of our 6G 3D. So because this is quite raised, you're going to want to use a bit more glue than normal. So you can see I'm doing a nice big blob of glue as opposed to my little tiny dot I usually do. Place that one in there.
Get out of it.
Hmm?
That one in the top corner needs to go out a little bit.
Out a little bit.
Shouldn't I think for continuity for the side.
Oh, here, yeah. No problem is then you lose it in here, but for what we're going to do in the middle, it won't matter.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what I will do is, I won't expect Ian to do this, is I'm going to do a topper to go across here as well. So I will do that off stream and then I will post up a finished picture up on the group. So hopefully you like that. And I look forward to seeing how you do.
When are we back?
We are back Monday.
Yes.
Trying to think if I've put anything up yet for the schedule.
Don't think we have yet. So keep an eye on the group to see what we're up to next week.
Yeah.
And we will be back at 11 o'clock on Monday. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves.
Take care and keep safe.
Yes. Your mum's on Pinterest.
What is it, Mum? I haven't even finished streaming yet.
And we'll see you all next week.
Yep. Bright and breezy, and hopefully with a few more samples up on the group. So if you want to post projects, we do say you can start your own album in the photo section with your name, and then we can keep an eye on how you're all doing and developing as we go through these next few weeks and months.
Carol's saying you wouldn't have chosen that paper, but it looks really nice, well done. And you always say, I'm not, I hear.
Sometimes you just have to go for something a bit different, don't you? These scissors are running up the water though. There we go. I think you've been using them to open the parcels, really.
No.
There we go. So there's going to be a nice topper that's going to come over here, and it'll be looking fantastic next time you see it. Any last minute questions before we go? No?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's it.
That's it. Okay. Again, thank you very much. And I'll see you all soon.
Take care. Bye.